Hey there, Daniel Steven here, and in this video I'm going to go over how to actually hire contractors on Odesk, and not just contractors, but we're going to do this so that we eliminate as much risk as possible um, by hiring solid contractors that you know are going to be able to perform the duty or the job that you need them to do. Um, I've been doing this for a long time here. I spent probably over 7 grand in this Odesk account by itself. I have a bunch of current contractors working for me now. Um, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the process that I run through to make sure that I hire a contractor that can fulfill the job that I'm asking him to do. And regardless, you're going to run into some problems sometimes with some of these contractors. It's just, I mean, the nature of the beast here. But we just want to eliminate as much risk as possible when we're hiring these contractors. Okay, so once you're in your Odesk account, I'm going to show you with Odesk because it's mainly what I use. As of late, I've ventured out a little bit lately, tried Elance, tried a few things, but I feel most comfortable with Odesk, so I'm going to show you here. So let me show you basically how. First, we're going to post a job. Let's make a fake little job here, and I'm going to show you basically the process I go through here. Alright, so we're going to go to the Recruit tab, and then we're going to click on Post a Job. Once we're in here, you want to figure out the category, obviously, that you're going to be posting this job for. You want to make sure that these contractors are relative and have the background to do these jobs. So that's kind of what Odesk does here. If I choose something with web development, I'm going to choose a subcategory. And once I post this job, it's going to ping out the job to all of these contractors that have the skill set in each category. So let's go with web development, and subcategory, let's go with web design. Let's say I wanted somebody to design a WordPress blog. Alright, so let's just say it doesn't really matter the job title, but you want to be somewhat descriptive. So obviously they know this has to be WordPress. It's going to be coded in WordPress. So as you can see, skills required. Odesk automatically grabs WordPress, so people that have WordPress in their profile, they're going to get an update about this. So in the description, this is what I've done as of late. So first of all, you want to be as descriptive as possible. For instance, if you know exactly how many pages the site's going to be, put that in there. If you know a certain dynamic feature that you want on the blog or on the design, put that in there. For example, by dynamic, I mean something that you're going to need access to in the back panel in the dashboard to control. So for instance, like a slider. When you see those images on the home page going from one to the other, that's a dynamic feature that you would want to make sure you put in there, because you want these contractors that are applying, they know that's something that they have to be able to do. So the more description you put in here, the better it's going to be. So be as descriptive as possible. And then one thing I like to do is at the end I'll say, let's say when you reply to this job posting, use the word marketing. Okay, and the reason you do this is you want to make sure that these contractors have actually gone through your job description. A lot of these contractors, once they get the notification that somebody posted a job about a WordPress blog, they have a generic application that they submit to you, their little resume, and they'll just copy paste it, and they'll do that to as many contractors as possible. And in reality, they didn't really go through your description. They just believe they can handle the job, and you don't want to hire those people. You want to hire somebody that is willing to read the description of your job and that follows rules. If they can't follow that simple rule of adding the word marketing in their application, then how do you know that they're gonna actually follow your your instructions on the actual job itself. Okay, so in the description, basically be as descriptive as possible and make sure that you have them replying with a certain word. It doesn't have to be doesn't have to be marketing, it can be whatever you want. Skills required. Usually Odesk will take these words out as you're creating the description and the category. So ignore that part. Job type, you can choose hourly or fixed. I like to do fixed because I want to stay in a certain budget for each job and I don't want it to exceed that budget. And basically the people that are applying are willing to work within that budget. Sometimes you'll get people that apply for way less. Be careful with them. You want to make sure that their background, their rating is high. And same goes for, you'll have some people that bid way over. I mean, you can work with them if you want, but I like to stay within my budget. So let's say fixed price. Now let's just say my budget for this job is $150. Estimated date, make sure you put in the due date when you want this done by. And make it clear again in the description when this needs to be done by. So we'll just say November 13th. Now, contractor preference. Do you want to work with an independent contractor, a freelancer, or an agency? I usually just leave both of those checked. Job visibility. Since I'm going to be posting this, I'm going to put invitation only, but generally you want to do public. And when I built up a relationship with a lot of these contractors, so when I talk to them on Skype, I'll tell them that I have a job for them if they're interested. This is my budget, and if they're interested, I'll just post a job really quick. I'll select invitation only. I'll put as discussed in the description because we already went over everything. You don't have to write this long description if you already have a relationship with a contractor that you contacted about a particular job. Alright, so once we go through this, we want to go to advanced options, and this is where we're going to make sure to do our best to hire only good contractors here. So estimated start date, leave that as it is, because unless you need to change it, if you don't want to start that today, if you plan on starting this job in a week, you can do that as well. So preferred qualifications, feedback score. This is pretty important. Make sure it's at least 4.5. You want to work with contractors that have a history of good ratings. They've already done a good job for previous employers, should I say. Hourly rate. This isn't really necessary, but you can do this if you want. I usually just leave that blank. Location. I leave this blank. Test passed. This you can use if you have a decent idea about these different tests, but usually the one that I want to make sure, where is it? The one that I really want to make sure that they understand is I want to make sure that they have a strong sense of the English language. So for instance, English level right here that they added, you want to get either 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5. You don't want to be working with contractors that are hard to communicate with. I've done this numerous times and it's a nightmare. You're working with people that have no idea what you're saying, or they think they know what you're saying, then they send you the job and it's nothing close. So make sure that the English level is either 4 of 5 or 5 of 5. And lastly, hours billed on Odesk. You want to work with somebody that has at least, let's say, I mean, sometimes this can vary since I do a lot of fixed price jobs. Sometimes, depending on the job I'm hiring for, they don't need a ton of hours. But I would say to generally hire somebody with at least 100 hours, unless it's a web design or development job or graphic design. If you're doing data entry, you want to make sure that they at least have 100 hours on their profile, because you know that they've actually done they've earned a solid amount of hours there, and they also have this high feedback score, so you know that they're going to be a solid contractor. And once you do that, you're simply going to post the job. Now, once you post the job, you're normally, well, it's going to pop up, and you can invite some of these recommended contractors if you want. I don't normally do that. So you're going to see the job here. And if the job is public, as you can see, mine is private still. You can post this job publicly by clicking here if you want. I'm not going to do that. But in the matter of 20 to 40 minutes, you're going to have a good amount of applicants coming in. So it's definitely important to be ready to start interviewing as many of these applicants as possible if you want to start this job soon. A lot of these applicants will apply, they don't hear from you, they're going to withdraw their application and they're going to move on to the next job. So that's the process I go through to make sure that I have the best chance of hiring a reputable contractor, somebody that has a solid past. And I just want to make it clear though, there's no guarantee that this whole process is going to work out perfectly for you. I've gone through this process before, and then out of nowhere, the contractor can disappear. But it's all about minimizing the risk here, and it's what I do. So I hope that helps somebody. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.